The world of Reanimal does not start with a loud bang. It starts with a wet, twitching sound. It is the sound of a nose that never stops moving. This nose belongs to the sniffer. He is the first true nightmare the children meet. He is the manager of a factory where people are not the workers. They are the product. He is not just a monster that hunts you. He is a monster that wants to step into your skin and live your life. Imagine you are a small child in a world made of gray fog and dead trees. You are looking for home, but you find a giant man in a suit. This is the sniffer. From far away, he looks almost normal. He wears a dark suit, a tie, and a fedora hat. He looks like a businessman from the 1950s. Your brain wants to think he is a person who can help you. But as he gets closer, you see the truth. He is way too tall. His body is not solid. He does not have hard bones like a person. The developers call his body fluffy. He is like a giant bag of jelly or wet sand. Because he is soft, he does not walk like a man. He twists. He bends at angles that would snap a human arm. He can fold his giant body to crawl through tiny spaces. He moves like a dark liquid trapped inside a suit. Then you look at his face. He has no eyes. He has no forehead. His head is just a lumpy, melting mass of pale skin. It looks like a wax doll left in the sun too long. Since he cannot see, he uses his nose. He is always sniffing the air. If the world is quiet, you can hear it. It is a loud, twitching sound. He is searching for the scent of a living child. In a world that is dead and cold, you smell like life. He follows the scent of your fear like a hunter following a trail of blood. He does not need to see you to know exactly where you are hiding. He just needs the wind to blow your scent toward his melting face. The sniffer lives in a massive, rusty factory. It is a place of old machines and cold metal. In the past, this factory made tools or cars for the people of the city. Now, it has a much darker purpose. When the children sneak inside, they find a room that looks like a giant closet. But instead of clothes, there are human skins hanging on hooks. These are the real skins of the people who lived here before the curse. The sniffer has harvested them. He walks through the rows like a tailor checking his fabric. He touches them with soft, pale fingers to make sure they are ready to be worn. The most disturbing part is how the sniffer acts in this workshop. He is not a mindless beast. He is organized and calm. He stands at a heavy table with a hot iron. He is ironing the human skins. He presses the hot metal against the hide to get the wrinkles out. He wants the skin to be perfectly smooth. He treats a person's skin like a fresh white shirt for a meeting. He is preparing a wardrobe of faces. Underneath the hooks, there are bathtubs to catch the blood and fluids. He is a recycler. He is taking the human form and turning it into a resource. This factory shows that the curse is an industry. The sniffer is the manager. He ensures everything is processed correctly. He lives in a world where humans are just materials to be used. He does not see people as living things. He sees them as fabric. He sees them as a way to hide his own monstrous shape. He wants to find the perfect fit so he can walk among the ruins of the world and pretend that he belongs there. Every time he picks up his iron, he is trying to erase the life that was there before. He is trying to turn a human being into a flat, empty piece of clothing. The sniffer is smart. He knows what children miss. He knows how to use their happy memories as a trap. He finds an old ice cream truck in the woods. It is bright and colorful. He turns on the lights and plays the happy, tinkling music every kid knows. In a dark, dead forest, that music sounds like hope. It sounds like summer and safety. It sounds like a promise that things can be normal again. But it is a lie. The sniffer sits in the shadows of the truck, hiding his face. When a kid like Hood gets close, the sniffer reaches out a pale hand and offers him an ice cream. It is a hollow, creepy trick. He is using joy to commit a crime. He does not want to give a treat to a hungry child. He wants to put the child in a cage. He understands human happiness, and he knows how to turn it into a weapon. This makes him scarier than a monster that just growls. He is a predator who knows how to play with your heart before he takes your skin. He knows that the children are lonely and afraid. He knows they are looking for anything that feels like the old world. By using the ice cream truck, he is mocking their loss. He is showing them that their best memories can be turned into their worst nightmares. He waits in the driver's seat, his nose twitching as he smells the excitement of the child getting closer. He knows the exact moment to reach out. He knows the exact moment to strike. One of the most terrifying things about the sniffer is how he travels. You think you have escaped him. You drive away in a car or run across a bridge to the other side of the river. But the sniffer is always there. He is always waiting around the next corner as if he never moved at all. How can a melting, slow-moving man in a suit beat a fast car? The answer is gross and supernatural. The sniffer has a deep connection to the dead. The land is filled with the bloated gray bodies of people who died during the curse. To us, they are just sad remains. To the sniffer, they are doorways. The children see him crawl inside the stomach of a dead body. He pushes his soft limbs into the rot until he disappears. Then he travels through the infection of the well. A few minutes later, he pops out of another dead body miles away. Every corpse in the world is a subway station for him. He is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. This takes away any feeling of safety the children might have. You cannot just run away because the whole world is filled with his doors. If there is a body on the ground, the sniffer could be hiding inside it. He lives inside the decay of the world. He uses the dead to hunt the living. He turns the graveyard of the city into his own private tunnel system. You can never be sure if the body you see on the sidewalk is just a pile of bones or a trap waiting to burst open. The sniffer represents the fear of losing your identity. In this world, humans are gone, but their shapes remain. The sniffer is obsessed with the idea of being a person. He wears the suit, he drives the truck, he irons the skin, but he is hollow. He is empty on the inside. He shows us that the curse mocks us. It takes the things we loved and turns them into a trap. He is the first lesson the children learn. In this world, the things that look like people are the most dangerous. He does not just take your life. He takes your image. He wears your face while he hunts your friends. You are no longer a person. You are just raw material for his wardrobe. He wants to step inside your skin to continue his cycle of catching the living. He wants to steal the way you look and the way you move. He wants to use your skin to trick the people you love. He is the ultimate thief. He doesn't just steal your things. He steals your very existence. When he looks at a child, he isn't seeing a person. He is seeing a new suit that he can wear to the next village. Think about the sound of that hot iron hitting the wet skin. There is a hiss of steam that smells like burnt hair and old meat. The sniffer stands there for hours, calm and focused. He is not angry. He is not in a rush. He is just working. A monster that is just doing its job is terrifying because it has no mercy and no emotion. He treats the end of the world like a 9-to-5 shift. He is the manager of the apocalypse. He ensures every human part is recycled into something nightmare-fueled. He keeps the lights on in the factory. He keeps the hooks filled with fresh skins. He ensures the world of the normals is erased and replaced by his own working city. He is the king of the uncanny valley. He makes sure everything looks just human enough to be horrifying. He is the reason the city feels so wrong. It is because he is trying to fix it with the wrong parts. He is trying to build a human world without any humans. He is trying to make a society out of the skins of the dead. The journey with the sniffer ends in a massive chase through the forest. The children are in a car, racing past trees where skin suits hang like rotted fruit. The sniffer is on the car. He clings to the roof with his soft, strong limbs. His jelly limbs wrap around the metal as he tries to get inside. He is desperate to add the children to his collection. He wants their fresh, young skin to replace the dusty ones in his factory. The children fight back with whatever they can find. They are screaming, and the sniffer is just sniffing. His nose is twitching as he tries to find a way in. He is relentless. He does not feel pain. He only feels the need to harvest. Eventually, they manage to knock him off the car. He falls into the dark water below a bridge. For a moment, it feels like they won. They think the manager is finally dead. They think they can move on. But we know the truth. You cannot kill the sniffer by just dropping him in water. He is a part of the world now. He is the shadow in the suit that will always be sniffing the air for the scent of the living. He has shown the children that the old world is truly dead. He showed them that their faces are just masks that can be stolen. He is the keeper of the first secret of the well. Even if they never see him again, they will hear that wet, twitching sound in their dreams. They will check the bodies on the ground to make sure he isn't waiting inside. The sniffer is the architect of their new reality. His work is far from over. He is the reminder that in this world, being human is just a costume for a monster to wear. When the wind blows through the dead trees, it might be the air moving through a pipe, or it might be him taking a breath, waiting for the smell of your skin to reach his face. After escaping the sniffer and his factory of skin, the children arrive at a place that should be safe. It is a large building with a clock tower. It looks like a school or an orphanage. In the normal world, a school is a place where you learn and play. But in the world of Reanimal, the school is a place where you are forgotten. It is a boarding house for ghosts. This is the home of the mother. She is the second major nightmare on this journey. If the sniffer was the man who wanted your skin, the mother is the monster that wants to be your family. She is the queen of the dust and the master of the sand kids. The school is filled with things that look like children, but they are not alive. They are called sand kids. They are shapes of small boys and girls made of gray dust and old clothes. They have no faces. They have no eyes. They do not speak or laugh. They just stand in the shadows, watching and waiting. These are the mother's children. They are hollow on the inside. They show us what happens when a child stays in this world for too long. They lose their name. They lose their face. They just become part of the dust on the floor. The sand kids are not your friends. They are a quiet army that does whatever the mother wants. They are like dolls that have been brought to life by a curse. They represent the fear of being alone and being turned into nothing. The mother herself is a creature of absolute horror. She does not walk the halls of the school. She lives in the dark basement, hidden in a deep hole in the floor. She is massive and covered in thick, dark fur that looks like a dirty rug. But when she reaches out of her hole, you see the most terrifying part of her body. She has many, many limbs, but they are not spider legs. They are human arms. Dozens of pale, reaching human arms sprout from her body. She uses them to crawl and to grab. She is a mix of an animal and a human, but it is a version that went horribly wrong. She is called the mother because she collects children to fill her school. She treats the children like toys or like food. She is a perverted version of a caretaker. She doesn't want to love you. She wants to own you. The children see the mother's rules in action when they watch a feeding ritual. The sand kids are gathered around a large hole in the floor. They have a rope. At the end of the rope is a large crying pig. The sand kids are not being mean for fun. They are just doing their job. They lower the pig into the dark hole. You cannot see the mother yet, but you see her many arms reach out from the dark. They grab the pig and pull it down into the shadows. The pig is scared, and the children feel sorry for it. But in this school, everyone is on the menu. The mother is always hungry. She needs to be fed, and her faceless children are the ones who bring her the meat. This shows us that the mother has created a system. She is the boss of the school, and everything inside it must serve her. The setting of the school adds to the nightmare. There are classrooms with tiny desks and chalkboards. There are playgrounds with rusted swings, but there is no joy here. There is only dust. The dust is everywhere. It is in the air. It is on the toys. It is what the sand kids are made of. It represents how everything in this world eventually breaks down into nothing. The school is a prison made of old memories. It is a place where time has stopped. The mother stays in the center of this prison, pulling the strings. She represents the fear of a fake family. She calls herself Mother, but she is a predator. She takes children who are lost and turns them into her faceless slaves. She is the master of the sand, and she will not let anyone leave her sight. The horror becomes real when Bucket, the fifth child in the group, is caught. The sand kids use their ropes to trap him. They start to lower him into the mother's pit, just like they did with the pig. The boy and the girl try to save him, but it is a trap. They get wrapped in the ropes, too. They are all pulled down into the dark lair of the mother. This is where you see her full shape. She is a giant ball of fur and arms. Her mouth is a cave of darkness. Being inside her lair is like being inside a grave. It is cold and it smells like old dirt. She doesn't just want to eat them. She wants to keep them in the dark with her forever. She wants to add them to her collection of broken things. The fight with the mother is a fight for the soul of the children. They have to use spears that are thrown by the Sand Kids. It is a strange battle. The Sand Kids are trying to hit the boy and the girl, but the children use those same weapons to hit the mother. They have to poke her and wound her until she is forced to open her mouth. She is a creature of the dark, and she hates being hurt. Every time a spear hits her, she lets out a muffled scream. Eventually, she is hurt enough that the boy and the girl can reach inside her mouth and pull Bucket out. They rescue their friend from the belly of the beast. But the mother is not dead. She is just angry. She starts to spit out more Sand Kids from her body. She is literally giving birth to more monsters right in front of them. She is a never-ending source of the nightmare. The theme of the mother is control. She represents the side of the curse that wants to trap you and keep you small. If the sniffer was about taking your skin, the mother is about taking your freedom. She wants you to stay in her school forever. She wants you to forget your name and become a Sand Kid. She is the queen of a kingdom that is made of trash and dust. When the children finally escape the school and go back out into the world, they are changed. They have seen what happens to children who give up hope. They have seen the faceless ghosts that follow the mother. They know that they must keep moving, or they will end up as just another pile of sand on the school floor. The mother is a reminder that the world of Reanimal is not just a place of wild animals. It is a place where human ideas, like a school or a family, have been twisted into something sick. The mother is a fake parent. Her school is a fake home. Her children are fake people. Everything she touches turns to dust. She stays in her hole, reaching out with her many arms, always looking for one more child to pull into the dark. She is the keeper of the second secret of the well. She shows the children that the curse can take away your heart and your face, leaving only a shell of gray sand. As they leave the clock tower behind, they can still hear the sound of her arms scratching against the floor, looking for the children who got away. After the fire at the barn and the flight of the pelican, the children find themselves in a place that feels like the end of history. They enter a massive city that has been turned into a giant graveyard for an army. In the other parts of the world, they saw monsters that acted like animals or managers, but here they see the remains of a war. This is the battlefront. It is a landscape of trenches, barbed wire, and smashed tanks. It tells us that the humans did not go down without a fight. They used everything they had: guns, bombs, and massive warships to try and stop the curse of the well. But as the children walk through the mud, they realize that you cannot win a war against a nightmare. The city is filled with the fourth major threat: the soldiers. These are not just monsters that were born from the well. These were men who were sent to save the world. Now they are either dead, reanimated, or completely crazy. Some of the soldiers you see are like the swimmers in the water. They are pale and gray, wearing torn uniforms and heavy helmets. They move with a mechanical, mindless anger. They still carry their weapons, but they don't know why they are fighting anymore. They are just shadows of the army they used to be. They represent the fear of being turned into a tool of violence even after you are gone. Other soldiers are still technically alive, But the horror of the war has broken their brains. The children come across a scene that is very sad. They find a soldier sitting at a piano in the middle of the ruins, while the world is burning and monsters are crawling in the streets. He is just playing a quiet song. He is trying to find a tiny bit of peace before the end. He is like the pig in the school who wanted comfort. It shows us that humans and animals are the same when they are facing death. We all just want to feel safe for one last second. But in this city, safety is an illusion. Other soldiers are seen using grenades to end their own lives because they are infected and they don't want to turn into monsters. It is a grisly and dark look at what happens when hope is completely gone. The war lore is everywhere. The children see massive warships that have been crashed into the cliffs. These ships are huge, built to fight other countries, but they were useless against the things coming out of the well. Inside the ships, they find a huge whale that has been transformed. It isn't mean, but it is trapped in the metal. The children have to dive into the dark water and find a horse's eye that has turned into a monster. They give the eye to the whale so it can move and clear the path. This shows that the war didn't just hurt people. It caught all of nature in its net. The animals were used as weapons or just got in the way of the shells and the fire. The most dangerous soldier the children meet is the sniper. He is hiding at the top of a clock tower in the center of the city. He is a cold and efficient killer. He doesn't care that they are just children. He has lost his humanity, and now he only sees targets. He represents the side of the war that is just about death. He pins the children down, forcing them to hide behind ruins and broken cars, while his bullets hit the stone near their heads. To defeat him, the children have to do something they have never done before. They have to use a bazooka. They find a heavy weapon and fire it at the tower. The tower collapses, and the sniper is gone. It is a moment where the children have to use the violence of the old world just to survive another hour. This part of the story is different because the children get to use the weapons of the war. They find a tank that is still working. It is a massive, heavy machine made of iron. For a moment, the children feel powerful. They get inside and literally plow through walls and buildings. They use the tank shells to blow up the monsters in the street. It is a strange sight. Small kids driving a weapon of death. It shows that in Reanimal, you have to become a part of the war if you want to make it to the well. The tank is a relic of a failed civilization. It didn't save the city, and it won't save the children. But it gives them a chance to keep moving toward their goal. The soldiers and the war show us the scale of the disaster. The sniffer was just one man. The mother was just one school. But the soldiers prove that the entire world tried to stop the curse and failed. The trenches are filled with the bodies of men who were waiting for an enemy they couldn't see. They were fighting a disease that turned their own friends into monsters. This is why the city feels so lonely. It is a place where millions of people once lived. But now there is only the sound of the wind and the occasional explosion. The children are walking through the skeleton of human history as they drive the tank and move through the battlefield. The children talk about how they wish things could go back to normal. They miss the days when a soldier was just a Man in a parade and not a gray. Ghost in a trench. They are heading toward the well, which they believe is the start of it all. They think that if they get there, they can turn off the nightmare. But the closer they get, the more the girl starts to suffer. The flashes of the sheep are getting stronger. The red light is everywhere. They have survived the shooters and the tanks, but the real enemy is not an army. The real enemy is the thing that is growing inside their own group. The soldiers were the guardians of the old world, and they are all gone. The children are the only ones left to finish the job. They leave the battlefield behind, covered in oil and smoke. They have seen the warships and the snipers, and they know that violence is not the answer to the well. The army tried violence, and they are all dead or transformed. The children realize they need a different kind of solution. They are heading toward the cliffside city and the well, where the biggest animal of all is waiting to be born. The war was a test of strength, and the next part will be a test of sacrifice. The children leave the smoking ruins of the war and the broken tanks behind. They are heading toward a city built on high cliffs. This is the final stretch of their journey. But the biggest monster of all is not waiting for them in the city. It has been traveling with them the whole time, hidden inside the one person they were trying to protect. As they move closer to the well, the girl becomes very sick. She is coughing and shaking, and her eyes are filled with flashes of red light. She has been carrying the curse of the well in her own body. This is the birth of the Titan sheep, the creature that gives the game its name. It is the final proof that in this world there is no difference between the prey and the predator. The birth of the sheep is one of the most disturbing things the children have to see. They are on their boat trying to reach the cliffside city when the girl starts to choke. She vomits out a full-sized sheep. It is wet, gray, and looks like a normal animal at first. But it is not normal. The other children are frozen in fear. They don't know if they should help the girl or run away from the animal. The sheep doesn't stay small for long. As soon as it touches the ground, it starts to grow. It is like the curse of the well has found a new home. It follows the children, watching them with cold, square eyes. It is no longer a farm animal. It is a stalker. The horror moves from the boat into the city on the cliffs. The children are trying to find a way to the well, but the sheep is always behind them. It is hungry, and it doesn't want grass. It wants the children. The first one to go is Bucket. They are trying to climb a wall when the sheep, which is now the size of a van, catches up to them. It moves with a strange, unnatural speed. Before anyone can react, the sheep grabs Bucket and eats him. It is a quick and brutal moment. The children realize that the thing the girl brought into the world is now killing them one by one. The sheep is not just an animal anymore. It is becoming a monster. Every time the sheep eats, it changes. It starts to grow human limbs. It grows long, pale arms and legs that look like they belong to a giant man. It is a reanimal in its purest form. It is a mix of the innocent sheep and the violent humans who started the war. It represents the way the curse takes something simple and turns it into a titan. The children are running through the narrow streets, hearing the heavy thud of the sheep's human feet behind them. It is getting larger every minute. It is smashing through buildings and knocking down stone walls. It has become a titan that towers over the city. The next victim is Bandage. The children are trapped in a hospital building filled with wounded soldiers and old beds. The sheep is so large now that it can reach through the roof. It finds Bandage and pulls him away. Now there are only two left, the boy and the girl. The girl is crying because she knows she is the one who started this. She is the host of the monster. The sheep is her child, but it is a child made of death. The sheep continues to transform, growing more limbs and becoming more distorted. It is a nightmare of wool and human flesh. It is the ultimate predator of the apocalypse. The boy and the girl find a way to fight back. They find another tank in the middle of a town square. They get inside and use the heavy cannon to shoot at the sheep. They hit it again and again with tank shells. The explosions rip through the sheep's gray wool, but it doesn't stop. It is too powerful to be killed by a machine. It has reached its final form. It is now a massive, snake-like titan that covers the entire city. It is a god of the curse. It looks down at the tank like it is a toy. The battle is one-sided. The sheep destroys the tank and grabs the boy. It swallows him whole. Finally, the sheep turns to the girl. She is alone now. Her friends are all gone, eaten by the things she carried inside her. The sheep consumes her too, but being eaten is not the end of the story. The girl finds herself inside the body of the sheep, and this is where the truth is revealed. She sees the memories of her friends. She sees Bucket, Hood, Bandage, and the boy performing a blood ritual at the well. She realizes that her friends were the ones who started the curse. They used her as a sacrifice. They put the infection inside her to see what would happen. She wasn't a victim of a random disease. She was a victim of her own friends' curiosity and fear. The sheep is the physical form of that betrayal. It is a monster made of the children's secrets. It grew large because their guilt was large. As the girl moves through the inside of the sheep, she sees a small cabin. Inside the cabin is a dead white rabbit. This rabbit represents her innocence, the part of her that died when the ritual began. She picks up a knife and prepares for the final act. She has to face the fact that the world ended because of a few children at a well. The Titan sheep was just the result of their dark magic. It was the final guardian of their secret. The Titan sheep shows us that the real monsters in Reanimal are not the things with many arms or the things that wear skin. The real monsters are the people who are willing to sacrifice others to save themselves. The sheep is a mirror. It shows the children what they truly are. They thought they were heroes trying to fix the world, but they were the ones who broke it. The sheep is the weight of that truth. It is a massive, screaming beast that destroyed a city because it was fed on lies and blood. It is the final obstacle between the children and the well. Now, the girl is the only one left who can end it. She has seen the ritual, and she knows what must be done. The sheep has done its job. It has brought the sacrifice back to the well. The children are no longer a group. They are just pieces of a story that is almost finished. The sheep remains in the ruins of the city, a giant monument to the curse. It is the king of the Reanimals. the most powerful thing to come out of the hole in the ground. As the girl prepares to face the well, the sheep's presence still hangs over everything. It is the beast that ate the world. The long journey is finally over. The children have traveled through the skin factory, the dust school, the flooded ruins, and the battlefield of the Great War. They have seen their friends get eaten, and they have seen the world turn into a living nightmare. Now, the girl stands at the edge of the well. This is the place from the very beginning of the story. It is a deep, dark hole in the ground that seems to have no bottom. It is the mouth of the world, and it is where all the monsters came from. But the secret of the well is not just about magic or a disease. It is about a choice that was made by a group of kids who were scared of the dark. As the girl looks into the pit, she is not alone. The other 4 children, the boy, Bucket, Hood, and Bandage, are standing there too. This is confusing because we saw them die. We saw the Titan sheep swallow them and the pelican carry them away. But here they are, standing around the well like they never left. They do not look like friends anymore. They look like judges. They are holding a heavy bag, and they are moving toward the girl. They are not there to save her. They are there to finish what they started a long time ago. The secret of the Reanimal world is that the apocalypse didn't just happen. It was invited. The girl remembers the truth now. She sees the flashes of the past. She sees the 4 boys gathered around this same well before. The sky turned gray and the animals grew human arms. They were performing a blood ritual. They used a knife and they made a promise to the dark. They wanted power. Or maybe they just wanted to change the world because they were bored and lonely. But every ritual needs a sacrifice. They chose the girl. They put the seed of the curse inside her. She was the host for the nightmare. The reason she vomited out the sheep and why she felt the red lights in her head is because she was the bridge between the human world and the well. This changes everything we thought we knew about the lore. The children were not the heroes. They were the villains of their own story. The monsters, like the sniffer and the mother, were just results of the ritual. The world was distorted because the girl's mind was being distorted by the thing inside her. The Titan sheep was her pain and her anger coming to life to punish the world. The other kids weren't trying to find the well to stop the curse. They were trying to bring the girl back to the well so they could complete the sacrifice. They needed her to return to the hole so the ritual would be finished and they could get whatever they were promised. There are many sheep humanoids standing around the well now. They look like people wearing sheep masks, or maybe they are sheep that have become people. They are watching in silence, like a dark congregation or a secret society. They represent the new world that is waiting to be born. They are the Reanimals that have successfully taken over. The 4 boys grab the girl and put a bag over her head. They tie her up and drag her to the edge. She is glitching now, her body flickering like a broken television screen. She is losing her physical shape because she is becoming one with the well. They throw her into the darkness. The girl falls into the deep, and for a moment, the world goes quiet. Then, something happens that we didn't expect. The well starts to overflow. It doesn't overflow with monsters or blood. It overflows with clean, clear water. The water spills over the edge and begins to wash. away the gray dust and the black oil of the city. This is the post-credit scene that leaves us with a big question. Did the sacrifice work? Did throwing the girl into the well cleanse the world and turn the monsters back into humans? Or is the water just a different kind of flood, one that will finish drowning the survivors, so the reanimals can have the earth to themselves? The water is a symbol of a reset. In many stories, water is used to wash away sins. By sacrificing the girl, the boys might have closed the door they opened, but the cost was her life and their souls. They are now the rulers of a dead world. The ending is ambiguous, which means it doesn't give us a simple answer. It leaves us feeling cold and uneasy. We realized that we spent the whole game rooting for a group of kids who were actually the ones who destroyed everything. It makes you look back at the sniffer and the mother in a different way. Maybe they were trying to stop the kids from reaching the well. Maybe the monsters were the ones trying to protect the world from the children finishing their ritual. The secret of the well is that it is a mirror. It gives you exactly what you bring to it. The children brought blood and betrayal, so the well gave them a world of skin stealers and man-eating sheep. The girl was the innocent part of the group, and she was the one who had to pay the price for everyone else's mistakes. The Reanimal Lore is a dark circle. It shows us that humans are the most dangerous animals of all. We are the ones who can turn a farm animal into a titan and a school into a graveyard just because we are afraid of being small. As the water covers the well and the screen goes black, we are left thinking about the sheep humanoids. They are the final image of the game. They are the new humans. They are a mix of animal and person, living in a world that has been washed clean of the old history. The war is over, the factory is closed, and the school is empty. The well is full. The ritual is done. The children have reached their destination, but they lost their humanity to get there. The world of Reanimal is a place where the prey finally became the predator, and the creators became the sacrifice. The story of the well is a warning. It tells us that some holes should never be looked into, and some rituals should never be performed. The girl is gone, lost in the deep water of the well. The boys are left on the surface, standing in the silence of a world they broke and then tried to fix with a murder. The cycle is complete. The animals have been reanimated, and the humans have been erased. The well is still there, waiting for the next group of children to find it and make a wish in the dark. To understand the true horror of Reanimal, we have to look past the giant monsters and the rusty factories and focus on the two children at the center of the storm. We have spent the whole story following the boy and the girl, thinking they are just two survivors of a world that went crazy. But the reality is much more painful. The girl is not just a secondary character, and she is not just sick with a normal disease. She has a monstrous sheep living inside her body because she was chosen by her own friends to be a sacrifice for the well. This is the dark heart of the lore. The background history of the boy and the girl explains why the world fell apart and why the ending of the game is so heavy and sad. We have to start with the girl and the mystery of the sheep. Throughout the journey, we see her suffering. She has terrible coughing fits that make her double over in pain. Every time she coughs, the screen flashes with a bright red light, and we see the image of a contorted, screaming sheep. This is not a hallucination. It is a physical warning. The girl has a sheep inside her because she was the lamb of the group. In many old stories and religions, a lamb is used as a sacrifice to pay for the sins of others. It is a pure, innocent animal that is killed to make things right. The 4 boys in the group, including our main character, the boy, decided that they wanted to see what was inside the well. They were curious, or maybe they were bored of their normal lives. They performed a blood ritual at the edge of the pit. They didn't realize that the well requires a host, a doorway, to enter our world. They chose the girl to be that doorway. They used her as their lamb. And that is why the curse took the shape of a sheep inside her womb. The sheep is a parasite of guilt. It grows because the girl is innocent and the boys are guilty. As they get closer to the well, the sheep gets bigger and stronger. It is feeding on her life force, and it is feeding on the dark secret that the boys are keeping from her. The girl wears a bunny mask during the game, which is a very important clue. A bunny is a prey animal. It is something that is hunted and eaten by others. By wearing the mask, the girl is showing us her place in the group without even knowing it. She is the one who is being hunted by the very people she thinks are her friends. She has no idea that the thing growing inside her was put there by the boy who is currently carrying her on his back. The sheep inside her is the physical version of the betrayal. It represents the moment their friendship turned into a crime. It is the innocent part of her being twisted into a monster by the dark magic of the well. Now we have to look at the boy and his own secret history. The boy is the primary character we control, and his design is one of the most haunting things in the game. He wears a burlap bag over his head to hide his face, but around his neck is a thick, heavy noose. At the start of the game, we might think he is just trying to hide from the sniffer. But the noose tells a different story. A noose is a tool used for hanging. It is a symbol of death and punishment. The boy wears the noose because he knows he is a murderer. He was the leader, or at least a main part of the group that sacrificed the girl. The bag on his head is not just for protection. It is a mask of shame. He cannot look the world in the eye because he knows he destroyed it. His whole journey is a fake attempt at being a hero. He carries the girl on his back and protects her from the sniffer and the mother. But he is only doing it because he is leading her back to the well to finish what he started. He is not saving her. He is delivering her to her death. The boy's history is a story of a coward who is trying to be a saint. He remembers the night of the ritual perfectly. He remembers the knife, the blood, and the way the girl looked at them before they put the curse inside her. He is haunted by the image of the white rabbit they found in the cabin. In many stories, a white rabbit represents innocence or a path into a new, strange world. When they found that rabbit, they killed it as part of their ritual. That was the moment they stopped being children and became monsters. The boy wears the bag and the noose as a constant reminder of that choice. Every step he takes toward the well is a step toward his own judgment. He isn't fighting the monsters of the world. He is fighting the memory of what he did to his friend. His kindness to the girl is a lie. It is a way to make himself feel better about the fact that he is a killer. The relationship between the boy and the girl is the ultimate tragedy of Reanimal. It is built on a foundation of lies. The girl trusts him completely. She clings to him when she is scared, and she relies on him to get her through the factory and the school. She has no idea that the boy's the architect of her suffering. She thinks the sheep is a sickness that came from the outside, but it came from the inside, from the very group of people she loved. The boy spends the whole game acting like a protector, but he is actually a jailer. He is keeping her alive just long enough to get her back to the pit. This is why the sheep grows human limbs when it finally comes out. It is growing the arms and legs of the boys who created it. It is a monster made of their friendship. The sheep is the truth that the girl was never able to see. It is the scream that she couldn't let out because she was too busy trusting the boy. The lore of the two characters is a circle of blood. The well needed a sacrifice to overflow and change the world, and the children provided it. The girl has the sheep inside her because she was the only one pure enough to be the host. The well doesn't want the souls of the guilty boys. It wants the soul of the innocent girl. The boys realized this, and they made a deal with the dark. They traded her life for the power to change reality. They thought they were being smart, but they ended up creating a world of skin stealers and man-eating birds. The background history of the boy and the girl shows us that the apocalypse was a choice. It wasn't a natural disaster. It was a betrayal of a friend. The sheep is the symbol of that betrayal. It is a creature that should be a sign of peace. But in this world, it is a titan of death. When the girl finally enters the body of the sheep at the end of the game, she sees the truth. She sees the little cabin where the ritual happened. She finds the dead white rabbit and the knife. She finally understands that her life was stolen by the boy standing next to her. The history of the characters comes to a head in that moment. She realizes that the adventure was just a long walk to her own execution. The boy's noose is finally explained. He wasn't a survivor of a hanging. He was a man waiting for the rope to tighten. By bringing her back to the well, he is trying to pay his debt. He thinks that if he gives her back to the well, the world will return to normal. He is willing to kill her a second time, just to fix the mistake he made the first time. The background of these two characters is what makes the ending so dark. There is no happy ending, because the foundation of their journey was a lie. The girl had a sheep inside her because her friends treated her like a lamb. The boy wore a noose because he was a criminal. They aren't two kids against the world. They are a victim and a killer walking together through a graveyard. The lore of Reanimal is a story about the end of childhood innocence. It shows us that the most dangerous thing in the world isn't a giant monster. It is a friend who is willing to sacrifice you to save themselves. The sheep is the result of that choice. A massive, screaming beast that represents the weight of a secret that was too big for a child to carry. The boy and the girl are bound together by a ritual that can only end in the dark water of the well. This is why the game is so unsettling. Every time you see the boy help the girl up a ledge or hold her hand, you are seeing a betrayal in progress. The boy's history is hidden behind that burlap bag, but the noose around his neck tells the truth to anyone who is willing to look. He is a condemned man, and the girl is his final offering. The sheep inside her is the timer that is counting down to the end of the world. It is a monster born from a broken promise and a stolen life. The background history of these two children is the real story of Reanimal, a story of how 5 friends went to a well and only one of them came back as a human, while the others became the very nightmares they were trying to escape. The girl's sheep and the boy's noose are the symbols of a friendship that destroyed the world. By the time they reach the well for the final time, the boy has completed his mission. He has led the lamb to the altar. The girl has lost everything: her health, her friends, and finally, her life. The sheep inside her has grown into a titan and destroyed a city, all because of the ritual they performed in the woods. The lore of the boy and the girl is a dark mirror of our own world, showing us how easily we can hurt the ones we love when we are afraid. The sheep is the truth, the boy is the lie, and the well is the end of the story. They are the heart of Reanimal, and their history is the reason the world is a place of monsters and shadows.